All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take a look at XCN ONYXCOIN because, look, there is a methodical accumulation that is happening at this point, and I'm still anticipating this whole price to start moving very much quickly and hit an initial price target of 7.5 cents. From there, I actually expect way higher price targets, which I'll talk about in today's video. But I think it's also very much important to understand what the chart is doing right now. I think I've shown you examples over the last few weeks of things like this chart right here, where I've been saying that, look, it's very much common that you see the price really pushing towards the upside like so, and then it crashes heavily. Then, of course, from there, you look for a retracement and you start waddling sideways here, what we would call accumulation. And then, of course, you really start pushing towards the upside once again. This is also pretty much the same thing that you're seeing here with XCN ONYXCOIN. As you can see that right here, we have got that rise which I just mentioned, and then of course a huge crash, right, a retracement. Then this is the sideways price action that we're looking for, which usually turns and pushes the price, you know, almost in a vertical line, just like ONYXCOIN usually moves, right? So I mean, maybe a lot of people didn't notice, but if you actually go ahead and take a look at this moment in detail before we hit our peak right around January, that was pretty much the same thing that was happening right there. So maybe we can go ahead and take a look at it on a lower time scale, take a look at it here on a 1 hourly time scale, and you have much more detail. Again, it's the same thing. You really push, you know, crash, then of course retrace, go sideways for quite some time, and then all of a sudden you're pushing in almost a vertical way, right? So these are the kind of things that I'm anticipating the price to do here. So I've shown you one example which is outside of the XCN price, that of course XCN itself. So there is a specific price that we're going to be looking at over there, which is really something that is amazing. Before we get into more detail, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It will tell the YouTube algorithm that yes, this video may be short and straight to the point, but it still pretty much carries all the significant information that you want to know about. So I've just been talking about this whole methodical accumulation that you can see here. You can see that the waves are accumulating in moments like these ones. All of a sudden it pushes, they drop it one more time, testing supply right there, push it one more time, test supply one more time, push it one more time. But you know what is happening here slowly but surely is that we are beginning to form what is known as a round bottom, and I think it's very much clear to see. Let me just quickly show you that right fast. And I'm thinking that slowly but surely we're going to be moving out of this whole thing and even break way higher. I think at this point we have done a great job explaining that this is accumulation that is happening right there, and it usually ends up with a vertical kind of a thing that happens there with the price. But the big question on everybody's minds is how high is the price going to get, right? So I'm referring to my Fibonacci retracement tools once again, from the very top until the very bottom right there. And yeah, all those structures that I've taken a look at, even the previous examples that I gave you of XRP and BNB, they were all managing to hit at least the full scale of the Fibonacci extension right there, which is for ONYXCOIN right around 20 cents. I think it's a great price target because even from where the price is sitting, again, we've already had a massive rally, but from where the price is right now, we're looking at somewhere around an 8x. I think that's really, really amazing. You know, for, you know, people who are much more conservative, they just want to exit at the, you know, golden pocket right there, which is right around, I would say, 7.5 cents. I mentioned this right at the beginning of the video, but this is a very safe zone to expect the price to hit to. But I'm just saying that with the other structures that we have been looking at that look exactly the same with XCN ONYXCOIN, they went on to go ahead and do the full extension. That would mean something like 20 cents here for XCN. And I think, yeah, I'll welcome that, obviously. Now, I mean, I showed you a quick example. I think it was right here. So maybe we can go back to a lower time scale once again. Maybe we can go to the 1 hourly time frame and give you evidence of how that thing is actually played in the past. So remember, our structure goes very much simple. You're looking for, you know, aggressive price action towards the upside, then of course a huge drop, reaccumulation here, and then of course you're looking to push, right? So this is where I'm saying that most of the charts, they go on to hit the full scale. Let me go ahead and illustrate that first, and we're taking off Fibonacci, you know, retracement 2 from the very top there until the bottom, and you can kind of see where it stopped right on that full scale once again. So these are great things that we can anticipate here for XCN ONYXCOIN to do. But let's maybe go for an external example that doesn't have anything to do with XCN, except that they have the same structure right there. And you can also see pretty much the same thing, that if we take it from the very top until the bottom here, you can also see that, yeah, that was stopping at the full scale. So that's great. I think it's a very good example to make use of, but maybe these things are not enough to say, okay, this thing is looking like this one, this thing. We can also take a look at the underlying indicators here on XCN ONYXCOIN. Are we really bullish? I mean, maybe we are just going here and, telling ourselves stuff that will never happen. We're looking at the RSI indicator. It's very much simple, but also it's about the way we interpret it, right? If you go on and do a great job analyzing what happens right there, I think it can be something that is very much profitable. So what I'm saying here is that each and every single time that XCN goes on to do something parabolic right there is this phenomenon in which the RSI hints, right, that it's overbought, then it cools off a little bit. Then when the second peak actually comes into play, this is when you see the price really going mad. So that's one example right there. But we also see pretty much the same thing right here. You can also see that, okay, you were hinting that you're overbought right now, but you quickly reset, right? Get to around 50-60, push one more time, and then this second push here on the RSI is the one that was actually leading to parabolic price action right there. So I mean, you can already see what's happening right there. I can also go ahead and give you this moment in which the RSI just slightly hinted that 70 mark, meaning it's overbought, and then reset and into that 50. Then the second one here is actually the one that had even a much more aggressive push right there. So I think you can already see that. We could also say the same thing about this moment here, but obviously this one didn't really reset below 70. But again, the same phenomenon, double top here on the RSI, and then this actually is the one that leads to the second aggressive peak, which is actually much more higher than the first one. Now, what does that actually mean? I think in the moment that we are in, we have already experienced the first peak right there, which you see also being reflected here. And just as we have seen in the past, it's very much common that XCN goes on to hit another high in terms of the RSI, and this is actually when the crazy moments comes in. And remember, when XCN moves, it moves vertically. Now we have all the conditions. I've shown you how this structure usually works, and I think it looks primed to go ahead and do something like this. Now we also have got other market conditions like the Bitcoin dominance, and I think that is also basically playing in the end of XCN, because if this thing starts dropping here, yeah, more and more capital is flowing into altcoins. XCN is really much happy to receive that capital and start flying towards the moon. So that's great. We're also seeing BTC pretty much residing right around all-time highs. That's great for sentiment, especially because a lot of people are going to be coming into the market, and that also means more capital. So bottom line here is that the kind of structure that we have with XCN here is something that is very much common, that usually leads to vertical price action here, leading to something like 20 cents. I think that's the main conclusion here. However, for people who want to be, as conservative as possible, I think that the golden ratio is also something that is looking safe right around 7.7 cents, 7.5 cents thereabout. It's also a very good price target in my humble opinion. Now, before I go, I want to show you this activity that our partners over there, Bank, the exchange, are doing. This is a massive welcome bonus to new users. If you happen to go ahead and register with them, I have actually gone on to put the link in the description. You can make use of this kind of an airdrop that they're doing, that if you deposit a certain amount into your futures account, you get almost up to 50% of that in terms of trading bonuses, which you can also trade and even make much more money on that. I always say that it's a gift that keeps giving, and I think it's a fantastic one. As a quick example here, $1,000 if you deposit right and use it. By the way, there are no limitations. Once you deposit, you can do whatever you want with your money as long as you're trading. They don't really mind. You can withdraw it at any point. I was saying that an example of you depositing $1,000 will get you up to 450 USDT in trading bonuses. Try that 450 if you wish, and you can go ahead and even make much more money from there. So go ahead and take a look at the rules. The link is somewhere there in the description, as I've said. And yeah, there is also another one, a spin to win kind of a thing, which requires you only to trade a minimum of $5. And of course, by the time you increase your trading volume and stuff like that, you can get more attempts, like 6 of them, so 6 plus 1. That's around 7 attempts. I think you can go ahead and win this Rolex and the iPhone 16 Pro. I wish you all the best right there. So go ahead and take a look at the links that are in the description and choose which one you prefer. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and hopefully we see each other very soon on the moon here with XCN ONYXCOIN. Take care. Bye-bye.